Welcome back to the Ponca City Monthly podcast. I'm your host, Andy. Something that we started last month that I was really excited about, and I've really been trying to get this off the ground for a few months, is our book talk. And so, there's a big movie out right now, Project Hail Mary, but it started out as a book. And so we thought it would be a great topic for this month's book talk. But so we brought back in Romy. Romy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So springtime, what's it like at the bookstore?
We're just transitioning from winter to spring with our Easter stuff.
Yeah.
And just kind of bringing in some newer things and just getting ready for summer too and all our fun events that we're going to have then.
Because you guys do quite a bit of stuff during the summer.
Yes, we do. We normally do our children's reading program, and we have some other like trivia things planned and a lot of stuff that will give people things to do.
One of my favorite things that you recently just did was the teddy bear sleepover. How did that go?
Yes, that was super fun and cute to see all the teddy bears there, and they got into some mischief. They were playing with our train station and ice cream, so it seemed like they had a lot of fun.
Good. Are you guys going to do anything like that over the summer?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I haven't heard, but keep an eye on our Facebook, and
all right.
I'm sure we'll...
Since it is April and we're talking about things coming up in April, Independent Bookstore Day, a very important day, national across the way there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a day to celebrate your local indie bookstore, which is, of course, Brace Books. We're going to have some great deals on books, and we're going to do book brick painting, which is you'll get a brick and you'll get to paint the cover of any book you're choosing. And we'll be doing that and a tote bag giveaway, so stay tuned for that.
And supporting your local bookstore is very important because you may not know this, but across the country, bookstores are closing left and right. It's just, book printing companies are closing left and right. So to have a local bookstore is very important, not only because they sell books all over, but they also highlight local artists, right?
Yes, we have a lot of local authors in our store, their books, so we're...
And they come in and do talks occasionally, right?
Yes, we do a lot of signings throughout the year, and we just try to support them the best we can.
And you guys have coffee and all kinds of great stuff, fun toys. I always like your toy section.
Yes, we do. We have our coffee bar and our Melissa and Doug toys and some other toys that kids love to look through that section when they come in. So,
did we say the date? What day it was?
Oh, Independent Bookstore Day?
Yeah.
Is April 25th.
Yeah, stop in. If nothing else, grab a coffee, paint a book, paint a brick to look like a book. Don't paint a book. But yeah. So we were talking a little bit. April is Easter month. Tell us about your favorite book this month.
Oh, my favorite book this month is a retelling of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and it's called Chicka Chicka Peep Peep. You guys are going to be tired of me. I'm saying that over and over.
I'm not.
But the alphabet crew is Easter egg hunting, and unfortunately the eggs all fall out of the tree, and they have to decorate some new eggs, and then they have some bunny friends that come along and help them, and it's just a really cute book for spring and Easter. So
nice.
I really enjoyed it.
So Chicka Chicka Peep Peep. We were saying that starting next time, you got to start bringing the books in so we can, because this has a really cute cover. I thought the cover was cute.
Yeah, it is really cute. So
yeah, and it's part of the. Now, is that a series or just a theme?
It's just a theme.
Chicka Chicka
for the
Boom
most
Boom.
part. Yeah, it's like taking the iconic Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and they've done a lot of different ones for holidays like Halloween and Christmas. So
okay,
it's a whole thing.
So for this one, they put on some bunny ears and they're hunting eggs.
Yes.
And so it's a learning book. They learn as they go.
Yeah, it definitely probably helps with the alphabet.
Okay.
They have the letters on there, and so kids can see that. And
we're gonna switch over, and I want to talk about the big blockbuster this summer, or so far this year. I think it's one of the highest grossing I saw. I think it's in 2 weekends, it's brought in over 300 million.
Oh.
So that's pretty good. Of course, we're talking about Project Hail Mary. Now, we both agreed that we kind of both got into this book because of the movie, right?
Right.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think we kind of established before we turned on the cameras that neither one of us are really sci-fi people.
No, I'm not. I really don't read a lot of sci-fi, but this one drew my attention, and I heard there was a movie coming out. And
Sure.
I wanted to read the book first, because...
Is it because you want to know what happened in the movie before the movie comes out?
Definitely. I think I wanted to have all the information I could and then go see the movie, and I could be like, oh, they left this out, because I'm like that. I'm like, oh, they left out that part that I loved. So
Yours is from you just want to critique them at the movie, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you feel like that's your job as like a custodian of books, that you need to know if a movie is... Were you because you don't strike me as the kind of kid that would watch the movie and not read the book in high school. Were you?
Yeah.
You were?
It depended. There's a...
Well, what was one book that you decided not to read and watch the movie instead? And you lied.
I don't know. Now you got me in this awkward position.
Yes.
I just admitted. There's been quite a few that I was just like, okay, I'll say Pride and Prejudice, because I've never read.
That's a hard book to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the movie, so.
Were you able to fake it enough to pass?
I think so. I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah, Pride and Prejudice is great. And one day I'll read it.
Maybe. Like I said,
if I can get through it.
It's a very hard book.
Yeah. So.
Especially, no, I'm sorry. Wuthering Heights is the one that's out right now that everybody's talking about.
And I haven't read that book either.
Yeah. So Project Hail Mary, what did you think of the book overall?
I loved it. I think it's one of my favorites. For not being a sci-fi fan, I really enjoyed it.
What did you like? Again, when you take the sci-fi out of it, what did you like about it?
I love psychology. So I think just the psychology of being alone in space.
Okay.
And like how he dealt with that. And I loved the structure of the book. I'm going back and forth between, he wakes up, doesn't know who he is, or can't remember who he is. And just him getting back to that was very interesting.
See, this is the conflict I have with doing this type of conversation, is because I don't want to give away the end of the book. And I feel like there's some pivotal information that kind of makes it hard to not talk about the book. But yeah, okay. So when he discovers how he got on the ship, how did that make you feel? Did you...
I was very shocked. I was like, oh, the whole time I thought it was a, he wanted to.
Sure.
Type of thing. And to find out that it was the opposite of that. It was like, oh, that makes it even worse.
It makes it interesting because of the situations that he's put in. I don't think we're giving away anything in the book by saying that on the onset of the book, he's alone in space because the other two astronauts that are with him have died. And they were on a 4-year mission to get to a star. There are some microbes that are eating the sun. A distant star has the same microbes, but their sun isn't being eaten. So he has to fly across the galaxy. Yeah. And then he gets there and all types of adventures unfollow. So that's kind of the premise. But yeah, he's alone in space because he was supposed to be with 2 other people, but they had passed. So he sort of has to deal with this. But in the unfolding of the story, we realize that he probably is the less capable of the 3 of them.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
For sure.
Yeah.
He said he's not an astronaut. He doesn't know what he's doing there. And his 2 other people that were supposed to help him are gone. So he definitely did pretty good for not knowing what he was doing. But.
Right. Yeah. Because to get them to this distant star, they had to put them in a coma. And in selecting the astronauts that went on it, they had to go through a series to see if they could survive being in a coma for 4 years. And a robot took care of them. Cute little story. But obviously not, because it didn't end well. But yeah. One of the aspects of the book that we talked about getting ready for this interview was it's a very mathematic-y, scientific-y book. How did you handle that?
I think I handled it fairly well. It didn't deter me, and I don't want it to deter anybody from reading it. But it was a lot at times, but I got through it, so I know if I can get through it, anybody can.
Yeah.
There were a few times where I was like, kind of just glazed over that, but for the most part, I tried my best to understand.
So have you, we discussed that I likened the writing of Andy Weir to Michael Crichton, who is also writes very scientific books, Jurassic Park, Congo. I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting. But those are the ones that I read. But they're very sciencey. But I thought that Andy Weir did a really great job of explaining the science. And I don't know if that was because the character is supposed to be a high school science teacher. And so he kind of explained things more like an educator would rather than someone who was a scientist themselves. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree. Like, I think it was part of that character of his thought process was very of an educator. So working through it and explaining it in a way I could understand seemed
nice. Yeah.
Very in character.
Since you're not really a sci-fi person, as you read a sci-fi book like this, do you expect the science to pan out, or are you okay with just willy-nilly whatever happens?
It's 50-50. Like,
Sure.
I want it to be realistic, but also I'm okay with allowing it to not be.
Okay.
Like, I'm very lenient.
Because as we mentioned earlier, just a few minutes ago, of the three of them, he is the least likely of the three of them to be an astronaut. He didn't really want to do any of the training, and so he's really just there for science, not for astronaut-y things.
Yeah.
But yet he has to do all of the astronaut-y things, and at one point I was just like, this doesn't seem plausible. Because the whole premise of the thing is them being plausible, right?
Right.
Because they're trying to solve a scientific problem.
Right. And yeah, there were definitely a few times where I was like, is this a possible thing? Like, can we get away with... I was having a hard time allowing it to happen. I was like, I don't know if this is realistic.
Because I'm not very scientific-y, but, there was just some of the, like I said, they make it very well established that he is not an astronaut. And then in the same breath, he has to go on these really complex walks outside of the ship that I'm just like, I just don't know that he would know how to do that or would be able to survive it, much less put the entire suit on by himself.
Yeah, I don't know how we figured that out, because I would have been completely lost.
Sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't have known what to do. I probably would have forgot to attach myself to the ship.
Yeah.
I would have been out in space.
Yes. Because one part that, wasn't in the movie was the fuel canister that they used to power the ship gets blown off. And so he has to recreate a new one. He 3D prints it because they have that technology. And then he has to attach it to the ship. And in the book, he's out there for like 10, 15 hours. And I'm like, I just don't think that would work.
I don't think so.
But, maybe I'm too literal. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm boring. Let's see. So we got to talk about Rocky, because Rocky's a very important part of the movie. He's been in all the previews, so it's not a spoiler to talk about it. When he gets to the distant star, he realizes he's not alone. Someone else has beat him to the punch, so to speak. There is a creature there. What did you think of Rocky?
Oh, I loved Rocky. He's my favorite character, I think. He's just very funny. He really made the book more enjoyable, I think, to me, because I know that's one of the hooks for reading it. I was like, oh, there's something, he's going to discover something else. And
Right.
sure enough, it was Rocky.
It was
And
Rocky.
he's just a smart little alien guy, and turns out him and Dr. Grace are in the same predicament. So
Yeah,
they help each other out.
they do. I thought it was very fun. Did Rocky look in the movie like you thought he would from reading the book?
I'm very bad at imagining like the characters in my head. I don't know if I just don't have a visual
Okay.
mind like that. So it was nice to see how they did, how they made Rocky look. But I didn't really have a set idea. I was just like, oh, he's just a little spider thing, which kind of freaked me out. But
Made of rock.
yeah, I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna work on the screen, but they figured it out.
Again, one of the things that you just sort of have to suspend your idea of what's going on is the way they were able to communicate so fast.
Yes, I was like, how do we come up with this so quickly?
Because at one point it's like, oh, he sort of figures out how to communicate with him by developing a program that he has on his computer. And then it's like, and then in the next scene, it's like, oh, we have 500 words.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, no, I don't think
What
so.
do I know? I'm not a linguist either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the fact that this high school science teacher is, again, he's a doctor. They established that in the first part of the book. The reason he's a science teacher is because he was a scientist and kind of wrote a paper about extraterrestrial life forms and how they are formed from water. And nobody really sort of believed him. And so that's how he gets wrapped up in all of this.
Yes.
Because, yeah, he was a disgraced scientist, just ended up teaching high school science. And then they adopt him into this program. How did you feel about the way the program shaped? Do you think the worlds could come together and do that?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I don't know. I feel like that'd be a very difficult to make everybody understand. Like, we have to work together. So, I'm glad it worked out in the book and the movie, but I don't know how long it took them either to establish this program. So
yeah.
But yeah.
In the story, what did you think about the ending of it? How did you think it ended? Was you shocked at how it ended? Before we talk about this, I just want to put a blanket spoiler alert, because we're going to talk about the ending, because it's my favorite part of the book. And I was most intrigued to see how they were going to bring it into the film. So spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch any further.
Yeah, you've been warned.
You've been warned thoroughly.
I did like the ending.
Did it surprise you? Did you think he was going to go home and life was going to continue?
For a minute.
Okay.
I did, and then I kind of thought about it. I was like, but what does he really have back on Earth type of thing? Like, it kind of remembers how he got on the ship, and then
But she was forced on this ship.
Yeah,
we can say that now because we've said
Yeah.
the spoiler thing. He was forced. He didn't go willingly. They drugged him and put him on the ship. He woke up at the start.
Yeah. And I think,
My favorite line from the movie was, "I put the knot in astronaut."
yes. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm kind of glad he didn't go back to Earth. I think he kind of realized, it's a once-in-a-lifetime
Sure.
opportunity to be able to just go live on another planet. So,
Right.
I don't know. I was surprised a little bit. I think.
Yeah. Because I thought the book was over. He was going home. Don't hate me. I read Kindle books. I read digital books. I've talked about this a lot. I have such a vast collection of books that if I kept them in my house, I wouldn't have room. So I didn't know that there was another chapter. I thought I was at the end of the book. He's going home. That's the end. And then no, he's not, because he finds out that Rocky, because the the microorganism that they're tracing also is a significant fuel source. So that's how they get to the star so fast. And it's how he's going to get home. But then they discover that the microorganism has eaten all their fuel.
Yes.
And he decides to save Rocky, who also has had all of his fuel eaten. I feel like we're skipping huge parts of the book.
There's so much to cover that it's like, wait, did we already mention that?
Like I said, it's a really interesting book. I thought it was fun. I thought the movie was pretty good. Speaking of the ending, so when he gets to Rocky's planet, I thought in the book they described it as being dark and like nothing could be seen. And in the movie, it's like this beautiful planet where, and I realize he's in a bubble. They did describe that he's in a bubble. But yeah, that to me, I thought was weird. It was like it was supposed to be weird and isolated.
I don't know if it translates better on screen, like,
sure.
Or if, I don't know, the audience wants to see a beautiful planet. They don't want to see it.
And I think that for me, the reason that it seems so weird was that in the book, with it being such a dark and hostile planet, and they've kind of just made a bubble for him to live in, where, interestingly enough, he has to eat himself to be able to survive. Yes. They leave that out of the movie. Weird. I don't know why they would. But yeah, they have to clone his muscle tissue. And that's how he survives on this alien planet, is by eating his own muscle tissue.
Yay. Great.
So all of that combined, I thought, is what made him wanting to stay on the planet when they give him the option of going home much more interesting. Whereas in the movie, it's like it's this beautiful planet that he lives on with a beautiful beach and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, why would he go home? But
yeah, in the book, it's like, I don't know, maybe go back to Earth.
Yeah. Do you think you would stay or would you go back to Earth if you were in the same situation?
I don't know if I'd want to get back on the spaceship and go home.
True story.
I feel like I'd rather just be like, I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
It's fine. And also I did enjoy how we kind of found that purpose on that planet too, of like teaching the little
rock people.
Yeah, little rock people.
Yeah. So overall movie, what did you think?
I did love it. I think they did a really good job at taking the book and like adapting it. I feel like it was good. 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars.
Nice. Okay. I thought it was good too. I thought the directors, whose names slip me right now, they did a great job of showing sort of the funny side of the comedy side of like, okay, here's this guy who's not an astronaut and he's going to have to go out and do these spacewalks. Because he was doing cartwheels and things like that, which, him jumping from one ship to the other ship, I thought was crazy. But again, because he's not supposed to be an astronaut, he's not supposed to know how to do any of this stuff. So yeah. And also 3 hours, that was a really long movie.
Yeah, that was
a marathon.
Yeah, there were a few times where I was like, okay, like, are we almost at the end? But I enjoyed it. I think the cinematography was really beautiful. They
did a good job on that. I agreed. I thought it was a great. I understand they didn't use a lot of CGI. A lot of that was real. So they built those giant sets. So I thought that was very cool. But yeah, I thought the movie was great. I would say 4 stars because I thought it was a little long. Like, it needed to be maybe a little shorter. They left out some parts. They could have left out a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Make it a little bit shorter.
Did you see the movie here at the movie theater?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. What did you think of the movie theater?
I really like it. I've been a few times before.
Cool.
Project Hail Mary, but
nice.
I like it. Free refills on popcorn and drinks, and it's reasonably priced, so I really liked it. It's very nice in there.
It is. The reclining seats are very cool.
Yes.
All right, Romy. Well, thank you so much for popping in again with us. Any hints on what next month's might be about? How far out do you read these books? You're like the weeks. Day before I watched the movie.
No, I try to be like a few weeks.
Okay.
I did another memoir for next month, so.
Okay, so we're looking forward to another memoir. That's all you're gonna give it. You don't remember the name of it. That's what it is.
I don't know. Don't want to give too much away. No, okay. I covered or I'm gonna cover Liza Minnelli's memoir.
We're gonna have lots to talk about that.
So yeah, love Liza. So had to read her.
All right. Also, don't forget Independent Bookstore Day is April 25th.
The 25th.
25th. April 25th. Stop by Brace Books. Say hi to Romy. Check out the books. They're in the back at the service counter. I don't know what you call it. What do you call that? Oh, just the counter.
Yeah, just the counter.
Romy's office.
Yeah, pretty much.
So stop in, say hi to Romy, check out Independent Bookstore Day, paint a book cover, do some fun stuff. All right, Romy, have a great day.
Thank you.